Are you tired of wrestling with your Sunday roast only to leave half the best meat stuck to the bone? The problem probably isn't you, it's your knife. All right, let's get into it. A good boning knife is one of the most underrated tools in the kitchen. It's the secret weapon that separates pro chefs from home cooks, but it absolutely shouldn't be. Today, I am cutting through the noise. I've put 5 of the most popular and highly rated boning knives to the test, from budget-friendly options to statement pieces. By the end of this, you'll know exactly which knife deserves a spot in your kitchen. 5. SHAN Japanese Super Steel Boning Knife. Now, right out of the box, this thing is impressive. You see Japanese super steel on the packaging, you feel the nice weight, you see the polished blade, and you think, okay, this is serious. And for the first few cuts, it absolutely is. I took it to a rack of ribs, and the blade, which is advertised as being incredibly sharp, did not disappoint. It glided through the initial trimming with that satisfying, almost silent shing that you get from a factory sharp edge. The handle's made from pakka wood and has this sort of tortoiseshell look, which feels pretty good in the hand. It's ergonomic enough that you don't feel like you're fighting it. The balance is decent too. It doesn't feel too blade heavy or handle heavy, which is important when you're doing delicate work around joints. I mean, for tasks like removing the skin from a salmon fillet, that initial sharpness and balance feel are exactly what you're looking for. It makes those long, single pull cuts feel smooth and professional. But well, here's where we need to talk. After the initial honeymoon phase, I started to notice a few things. While the knife is sharp out of the box, it doesn't seem to hold that razor edge for as long as some of its competitors. After breaking down a whole chicken and then moving on to trim a brisket, I found myself reaching for a honing steel a little sooner than I'd have liked. 4. Hoshanho boning knife. This one feels different the moment you pick it up. It's a beast. Seriously, this knife has some heft to it. It's forged from a single piece of Japanese AUS 10 steel, and you feel that quality immediately. This isn't a delicate, flimsy blade. It's a substantial tool that feels like it could handle just about anything you throw at it. The blade itself is thick along the spine, inspiring a ton of confidence when you're working around tougher joints or cartilage. The sharpness on this Hoshanho is no joke. With a hand-polished 15-degree edge, it came out of the box ready to work. I used it to French a rack of lamb, a task that requires both precision to get between the bones and strength to clean them properly. The Hoshanho excelled. The blade's rigidity and sharp tip allowed me to get right up against the bone, minimizing waste and creating a really clean, professional look. The pakka wood handle is also beautiful and feels very durable, like it's built to last. So, it's heavy, it's sharp, it's made from great steel. Why is it at number 4? Well, it comes down to ergonomics and, frankly, how it feels to use for a long period. This knife is opinionated. The bolster and handle are shaped in a very specific way that almost forces you into a pinch grip. 3. Imarku boning knife. Now we're at number 3 with the Imarku boning knife, and this knife, to me, is the workhorse of the group. It's not trying to be the prettiest or the heaviest or the most unique. It's just trying to be a damn good boning knife, and you know what? It pretty much succeeds. When you pick it up, the first thing you notice is how comfortable and light it feels, especially compared to the Hoshanho. It feels like an extension of your hand, which is exactly what you want. The blade is made from high-carbon German stainless steel, and it delivers on its promise of sharpness and durability. I put this knife through the ringer, trimming silver skin off a tenderloin, deboning a dozen chicken thighs, and even filleting a few small fish. It handled every task with ease. The blade has just the right amount of flex. It's stiff enough to feel controlled, but flexible enough to bend and curve around bones and joints. It's this balance that makes it so versatile. The pakka wood handle is simple, classic, and comfortable. There are no weird grooves or forced grips. It just fits nicely in your palm, allowing you to work for long periods without fatigue. Cleaning is a breeze, and it holds its edge remarkably well for a knife in this price range. After all my testing, a few passes on a honing rod brought it right back to razor sharpness. Number 2. Syokami boning knife. If the Imarku is a workhorse, the Syokami is a surgeon's scalpel. From the moment you unbox it, you can see and feel the attention to detail. The blade has a beautiful Damascus pattern, and the wenge wood handle is elegant and feels secure in the hand. But the real magic happens when you start cutting. This knife is incredibly sharp, and more importantly, it has the perfect amount of flexibility. Syokami advertises about 20 degrees of flex, and that feels spot on. I used it to debone a whole duck, which is a tricky job with lots of small bones and delicate skin. The Syokami was simply a joy to use. The narrow, curved blade navigated the carcass effortlessly, separating meat from bone with surgical precision. Skinning fish fillets felt almost like cheating. The blade glides right under the skin with minimal pressure, leaving you with a perfect, clean piece of fish. What impressed me most was the control this knife offers. The 13 to 15 degree edge angle makes for an incredibly fine, sharp tip that you can use for intricate tasks, like removing tendons from chicken breasts or trimming fat from tight spots. Customer reviews for this knife are overwhelmingly positive, with users praising its quality and sharpness, and my experience was exactly the same. It feels like a much more expensive knife than it actually is. Rococo Feather Viking Boning Knife. Let me be clear, this knife is not just a tool. It's a work of art. The moment you see it, with its rugged, fire-forged finish, feather-patterned blade, and gorgeous rosewood handle, you know it's something special. It even comes with a thick, stitched leather sheath that makes you feel like you should be cooking over an open fire in the wilderness. But here's the most important part. This knife is not just for show. It performs as good as it looks. The blade is forged from 7CR17 MOV high carbon steel, and it is an absolute beast. It arrived scary sharp and has a thick, sturdy spine that gives it the toughness to handle jobs that would make lesser knives nervous. I use this to break down a large pork butt, cutting through thick seams of fat and even some cartilage, and the blade didn't waver. It has the heft and power of a cleaver, but the sharp, agile edge of a boning knife. The ergonomics are fantastic. The rosewood handle is curved perfectly to fit in the palm, providing a secure and comfortable grip that doesn't slip. There's a small finger choil that gives you extra control for more precise cuts. And then there's the little unexpected feature: a bottle opener integrated into the end of the handle. It's a bit quirky, but you know what? It's also genuinely useful and adds to the rugged, utilitarian charm of the knife. Final thought. That's all for today, folks.